this case?
Well, I wonder if there's going to be a trial. I mean, it looks like now they might be able to tie up the loose ends in terms of the forensic evidence. As I say, if what they find forensically ties in with whatever he might have admitted to already, then they got a pretty good case. And I got to be thinking, if I'm defending this guy, I got to be looking to control the damage.
Okay, and by controlling the damage, it's a plea deal.
Well, yeah, look to see what you can do, in terms of time.
Right. He's a young guy. I mean, again, it's a tragic story. A mother of two. He had obviously that he had other history of violence, if you will, with her and others. So it looks like they found their man, and obviously the main thing is that they found her. So justice can prevail here in one way or another. The other case, Gary, I know it's sensitive. It's ongoing. But is there anything that you can reflect upon with the young man Reardon and what's going on with him these days?
Well, for the first time now, we know what we're facing. He was arraigned on the indictment, and I know what charges he's looking at. Right now, we're in kind of an interim period where I'm filing motions with the court and asking for discovery from the prosecutor's office, and they're being very kind, to give me that. So we're in a status right now where I'm learning things about the case that I didn't know before he was indicted.
Now, on a personal note, and again, perhaps you can't reflect on this, but do you see, that because we're in a small community, people, perhaps read the newspaper as much as I do, and maybe from time to time jump to conclusion. And again, we discussed this before. You always have to draw all the facts together with any case. Do you see any type of public resentment and or sentiment against you about, defending this guy because of what's been divulged in the press?
Well, I typically don't worry about that. I don't have time or energy to worry about the way I'm being perceived. Obviously, the prosecution has a leg up on this because she went to the police first. He got arrested because he was advised by counsel not to talk to anyone. Mm-hmm. So, we got one leg in the hole, as it is right now. But as I say, we're at the state now where I can start to learn a little more about the case and get a little more educated on it.
Do you get frustrated when you read things in the paper that are just absolutely not true?
Oh, yeah. I've read... I don't read the newspaper when I'm in trial at all because I've done that before, and then I've wondered, what case are they talking about, because they weren't in the same courtroom I was.
Yeah, it must be very frustrating. Eric, the same thing with you? I mean, you've had high-profile cases, and you might come out of the courtroom and then read something from a reporter after you've just been asked for, answering a question of his or hers, and then discover later that it's all been thrown, ass backwards, if you will. Sorry for the language.
No, my one-on-one interviews with reporters, that hasn't happened. But, I had a burglary trial in '97, and I couldn't believe I couldn't...
The end result.
I could not believe it. I had him in the house. But one-on-one, no. But, I've had some results. And on the other hand, I've had some results where I thought, where am I going here? And they're like, not guilty. So. Right.
Well, that's
you never know.
You never. I guess it's just like the lottery. You never know. A lot of things going on in the world. Locally, I think we covered the bases. Unless I'm forgetting something, it's just an amazing letter that you received today, Carrie. And it's amazing how time flies. I moved up here in 1988, and I was aware of that case, and I know that, and I'm talking about the Moss incident out there in Pillow Point. It amazes me that a police chief, a member of the law enforcement, if that happened today, don't you think that Moss would be certainly not only incarcerated, but put in a penitentiary? Do you think there would be a tougher result for him today if that crime happened today?
Actually, I don't, because the law is the same. The status of the law in terms of mental disease or defect is pretty much the same as it was then. Mm-hmm. He could have been charged with first degree. He was charged with first-degree murder, as a matter of fact. But the death penalty didn't attach to that. So it's one of those where some of these cases never go away, and this is one of them.
And I just at this point, obviously, with all the amount of cases that you've had as a prosecutor. There's got to be a thing in the back of your head, and I hate even asking you, Gary, about whether or not any of this is going to come back to haunt you in a certain way. And I'm talking just in personal terms.
Yeah, it does take a toll on you. You can only stand over so many dead bodies before you get a little jaded. And
but then after a while, these guys finish their terms, and it becomes like a like a Robert Mitchum movie or something.
Yeah, I told them all as they left that, when you get back, I'll be retired and don't look for me.
Good. I'll be doing radio back in the 21st century. Eric, you want to add to that?
I like Robert Mitchum.
You like...
I thought he did better. The original Cape Fear.
He was actually in the second one too. He played the investigator. Hi, it was a terrible remake, by the way. Hi, you're in the air. Do you have a question for our friends here?
Hi, Glenn. Yeah, I want to switch gears just a little bit, if I can.
By all means.
Get out of criminal law and